Morning, everybody. Everybody say hi to Sharon, please. Sharon and John sit over in the second row. You know how you all have assigned seats. Sharon and John sit over there in the second row, right on the edge over there. Sharon, you and I wanted to talk. We've talked about this in the past privately and so forth. You are like passionate about health and holistic kind of living and work, exercise and all that. How did that start for you?
Well, after we talked a little bit, I had to think back, and I thought, wow, God really showed me this when I was very young. When I was in grade school, I wanted to be in all the different sports, volleyball, basketball, softball, everything like that. I had two older brothers, so we'd always be out in the street playing kickball and, softball and whatever it was. And then my brothers would have a chin-up bar across their, bedroom door, and I'd want to hop up there and start doing chin-ups. And then, I don't know if anybody remembers this, it was a long time ago, but there was a machine, not a machine, but you could put it on your doorknob, and you would put it around your feet and your arms, and you'd lay on the floor, and your feet and arms would move. Well, I made my mom buy me one of those, and I would sit there for like a half an hour in the hallway of our house, doing that. And it just kind of, so I was always wanted to be very physically active. And then when I was like 17, a friend of mine said, hey, do you want to play racquetball? Well, right behind us, actually, where you work at now at Finney's, used to be a Victani. And so way back then, so we joined the Victani and started playing racquetball, and I kind of meandered into the weight room and just fell in love with it. It was like just really, neat. It was just something that I was very passionate about. So I kind of started on that route and, went to different gyms and did the weight training. But I'll never forget this moment.
Did you pose in front of the mirrors?
A little, maybe. I mean, I try not to, but there's mirrors everywhere, so, it's a little hard. So then my son was about 2 years old. I always remember this. I lived in an apartment, and I had on, and this is going way back, so some of you will know this and some won't, Phil Donahue show. Yeah. So I had that on the television, and I was playing with him on the floor, and all of a sudden he was interviewing a guy, a doctor, and his name was Dr. Robert Haas. And I tuned into it, and I couldn't take my eyes off the TV set. He was, I'm pretty sure, it was a long time ago, he was like the nutrition coach for some of the star tennis players. And so he started talking about nutrition. And I got a pad of paper and a pen. I started writing things down. I just couldn't take my eyes off the TV. I went out and bought his book, which was called Eat to Win. And it was just one of those books that talked about how what we ate could really, help us in whatever way. His was, of course, their endurance, their strength, their recovery afterwards. And all I remember now, looking back at it, because I wish I still had his book, was I remember eating a lot of brown rice and chicken for years. Because that was
terrible.
That was one of the things at that point that he, really stressed. I mean, there were other things also with that. So then that led me down that path. About probably 5 years later, I had met a guy named Coach Hammer, and he had, do you know Coach Hammer? Okay. So he had a place that he had opened. Hammer Bodies. And so I had met him a few years before that. So he stumbled into where I worked one day and said, hey, why don't you come work for me as a fitness trainer? And I thought, I died and gone to heaven, kind of a thing, because I was like, you're kidding me. I can actually take what I love and work as a job and make money and help people and encourage people to be healthy. So that kind of started me on that route. And as I kept getting deeper and deeper into this, then I started my own fitness training business, and I did that for 25 years. I realized how exercise is important, but nutrition is far more important. What we put into our bodies I don't know if people understand how important it is, how food will make you either healthy or unhealthy.
And you realize we're in dangerous territory here because I don't like to eat healthy things.
That's right.
But go ahead. You've got a desire, like you and I have talked about this in the past, but you've got a desire to like kind of encourage the rest of us that are slugs like me. Talk about or give us a couple things. Like, this is what I really wish people understood.
Oh, I really wish that people understood that so many of the things that are going on in your body, whether it's high blood pressure, diabetes, even as something as serious as cancer, can be helped and sometimes cured by changing the way you eat, by literally what you're putting in your mouth. Food is healing. God made our bodies to heal themselves. And we can do that through, obviously, through prayer, through reducing stress in our lives, but through eating the proper foods. I mean, foods cause inflammation in your body. They, so many things.
So I'm a pastor guy. Do you have a Bible verse to back on any of this up?
I have a couple that I highlighted. Sorry about the pink glasses here.
Isn't it cute? She has like 17 pairs of glasses. They all match whatever she happens to be
terrible.
wearing in a given day.
So first I thought we would read about in Daniel, where it says, Daniel was determined not to defile himself by eating the food and wine given to them by the king. He asked the chief of staff for permission not to eat these unacceptable foods. Then if you go down a little, it says, Daniel says, please test us for 10 days on a diet of vegetables and water. At the end of 10 days, see how we look compared to the other young men who are eating the king's food. Then make your decision in light of what you see. At the end of the 10 days, Daniel and his 3 friends looked healthier and better nourished than the young men who'd been eating the food assigned by the king. So after that, the offendant fed them only vegetables instead of the food and wine provided for the others. Then another one is, of course, we all know this, your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit, who lives in you and was given you by God. You do not belong to yourself, for God bought you with a high price. So you must honor God with your body. I think that's very important. And the last one is this. It says in 1 Timothy 4, do not waste time arguing over godless ideas and old wives' tales. Instead, train yourself to be godly. Physical training is good, but training for godliness is much better. But I focus on, yes, training for godliness is much better, but physical training is good. God has given us one body on this earth, and he wants us to take care of it. I say to myself over these years, I always say, do I want to be the person that can continue on through my whole life helping others, or do I want to be that person who has to be helped because I'm in an unhealthy situation and, disease has taken over?
So give us a couple thoughts. Like, so what would you like some people to take away? Like, chicken and brown rice. That's clearly not your message today. So what I'm saying is, what would be a couple things you'd like us to know?
Well, I would like you to know that, first of all, I'm here to help. That's why I'm up here. This is not my thing, is to be up here talking. I'm a very one-on-one kind of person, and that's why I loved personal fitness training, because you work one-on-one with people. So I'm here to help anyone here who, whatever if you're, and this isn't about just losing weight. This is about getting serious about what you're putting in your body. It's again, food. So if you have any of the high blood pressure, diabetes, anything like that, and you're spending money and you have to go to the doctor and all that, you can change that. Most of those are lifestyle issues, and so I'm here to help you. I will meet with you one-on-one. I will encourage you. I've worked with a couple of people in the church.
You've kind of been stealthily doing this already.
I have, and I just felt like God was saying, put yourself out there, open it up to the people in the church, because a lot of people may not know how passionate I am about encouraging others to have good health. And so I just want, to put it out there. Can I read one more thing real quick? Okay, so I've read tons and tons of nutrition books, gone to seminars, all of that. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a registered dietitian or anything, but God has given me a lot of information about all of this that I want to share with others. I mean, why keep it for myself? And I do share it with others, but I want to share it with the church as a whole. So this is just from a book called The Keto Diet. Now, there's tons and tons of all these different things out there, and it's very confusing for people because you've got the paleo diet, you've got the Mediterranean diet, the keto diet, you've got Weight Watchers, you've got, just all kind, and it's really not that confusing, and I know that people get very confused and they just throw their hands up and then they don't do anything. But really what it is, and why I like meeting with people one-on-one, is because you can, everybody's different. You have to decide what works for you. Some people do great on the keto diet. Some people do great on a paleo diet or a Mediterranean diet or whatever it is. But it's really about just getting the junk out of your kitchen and putting in the good foods. I will do anything for people when they are committed to being healthy. I'll go to your house. I'll go through your cabinets with you. I'll tell you what to throw out. I'll tell you what to replace it with. I'll meet with you one-on-one. Really, whatever it is you need personally to help you get back to a healthier state, I will do it. Wow. So this is just something that I wanted to read because this is how important it is about what you put in your body. So this is Dr. Josh Axe, who is a Christian, and I really like him a lot. And his mom had cancer, and so he said he spent hours of reading about cancer and nutrition and herbs and antioxidants. And he reached out to some of the world's leading integrative medical people. They got rid of all the processed foods in her cupboards and filled her fridge with veggies, herbs, healthy protein, wholesome fat, and bone broth. I showed her how to make delicious vegetable juices. We bought wild salmon, cod liver oil. She began eating a variety of mushrooms. She did all these things. She all but eliminated processed carbs and sugar from her diet. Because sugar, I hope everybody here knows something, sugar is deadly, and sugar feeds cancer cells. If that's all you know about sugar, is that it feeds cancer cells, you need to get it out of your diet. We all have cancer cells in us, and it can pop up at any time. And so sugar is just, it's bad. It's bad, it needs to be out of your diet completely, and it's hidden in any processed food you would buy. And they hide it, from us. But anyway, he actually ended up, his mom actually was cured of cancer just from changing the way that she ate and, doing other healthy things, praying, but it's just amazing to me, and it's just, I have such a heart to help others get healthy, as long as they're committed. It's because it's a commitment. I've gone through things in my own life. I found out I had 2 of the genes that put you at high risk for celiac disease. So when I found that out, and this was maybe 8 years ago, I immediately went on a gluten-free diet because that was the only way that, other than, I know God's in control of all of us and our health, but I had choices to make, and so I made the choice to go on a gluten-free diet, and it's not easy. And none of this is easy. I like to eat junk just like everybody else does. I smell pizza and whatever it is, but I just have made the decision that I want to honor God by being healthy. I want to be able to help other people, not just with their health, but with whatever I need to do. And so, we just have choices to make. You can choose to, a lot of people, it's not even a choice, it's stress. Everybody is stressed out nowadays. And so everybody stress eats. I stress eat. My husband stresses, he eats. Now, people like him, I have to work at this every day. I mean, I really do. I mean, there is obesity in my family. My mom has had rheumatoid arthritis for 45 years. And I think that was another thing that kind of spurred me on to this, is that I saw her struggle. I saw her go through 10 surgeries. I saw the pain she had. And I thought, Lord, what can I do to try to not end up like that? Because I just saw the struggle for her and my dad. And, but like John over there, he eats healthy, but he can pretty much eat whatever he wants. And I mean, it just doesn't affect him. So some people are like that. Praise the Lord if you are.
I got good genes.
You got good genes?
So
good.
I do, literally. My dad did everything wrong forever and lived forever. I mean, so I got good genes.
Right. Some people have that.
So you're available to people if they want encouragement, counsel, etc.
Yes.
We're supposed to get rid of sugar. Last thing?
It's all about eating whole foods. I mean, it really is. It's just, again, this is not time consuming. It really isn't. In fact, when you eat simpler and you just eat whole foods, I mean, I don't spend much time at all in the kitchen. I just know what I have to eat. I have it in my fridge. It's all whole foods. And I'm not saying I don't eat some dark chocolate every day, but, I do, because that's my one thing I can do. But, so again, yes, I'm willing to help anybody who wants help out there. And if you think you're too far gone or you can't be helped, you can, by changing what you're doing. Exercise is very important, but nutrition is 80% of because I see people all the time in gyms, they work out like crazy people, and they still do not look healthy, and it's because of what they're eating. So you could work out constantly. So anyway, I'm here to help, and how I wanted to approach this was like this. I don't want people to pay me for this. I want to offer this like as a ministry. But I thought, well, you got to have a little skin in the game. You know what I mean? If you just get something for free, you don't appreciate it as much. So I thought, I haven't even told you about this yet, but I thought, what if I help somebody, what if we start up a fund so that we can pass on health, also to one another in here, but to somebody else? So I thought, what if we start a fund? If I help you, you donate whatever you can to this fund, whether it's $2, it's $5, it's $50 or $100, whatever it is. The fund is going to then eventually build a well or drill a well in Africa. Because drilling a well in Africa means health for the people in Africa. So I thought, well, that would be, and we're tied into Africa. We've got Ruth and Linda. We've got, now Tammy and Jeff are over there. We've got Amy over there, Amy Rittering. So it's like, let's pass that health on. So if I help you, if you come to me and I help you, if we can do it through Southgate or whatever, set up a fund, you just donate anonymously. I don't want to know what you donate. And when we get, I think it's $8,500. And you can donate regardless if I help you. We can try to, drill a well in Africa and give health to that part of, to wherever that is in Africa. So.
That's awesome. Call Sharon if you want help. That's Sharon, everybody.